Hey everyone, and welcome back to Instrumental Adventure. Originally, I thought in this episode we would talk about the structure of the piece, but as it turns out, I need to figure out how to record the output of my computer screen and the audio from the computer and the audio from my mouth at the same time. So while I'm sorting all this out, I thought that instead today we could talk about something quite exciting, which is the end of the piece, the very end of part 2. And I'm going to show you how I'm using the exact same melody that we had at the beginning, the one we saw in episode 1, but with a very different harmony, different context and a different arrangement. And the result is that it creates a completely new atmosphere and ends on an uplifting note. So we start and end with the same melody, which is really cool. And we're going to see how by using the same melody, we're actually diving into the world of modes. That reminds me that last time I forgot to mention that there will also be some mandolin in the piece, and we would not want the mandolin to feel left out. Let's go back to our main sequence of music, the main melody. And we're going to take just the first 4 notes. And now I'm going to play these same 4 notes over a different key. A key is just the harmony foundation for a piece. So the foundation over which the melody is played. Let's get our new key or our new foundation. So now our ears are used to the new key. And I'm going to play these same 4 notes over that new foundation. We have quite a different feel. So let's compare to the original key. Same notes. Now, same 4 notes over the new key. Can you hear how it sounds quite different? To me it feels like we have a mystery again, but this time it's not a mystery that unsettles us. It's something that evokes wonder and awe, and all of that with the same notes and changing the key. And that's going to be the very end of the piece, the very end of part 2. We're going to use the same notes with which we started the piece of music, but because we play it over a different key or a different foundation, it creates a very different feeling, this time more uplifting. All of that by just changing the key. So it's really cool because we start and finish with the same ingredients, but just because the environment or the context has changed, we have a very different feel. We start with a little bit of a sense of unknown, and we finish with wonder and awe and excitement and possibilities. Here that change of atmosphere and feeling happened because we changed the key, or that foundation, that harmony foundation. And because we changed the key and kept playing the same 4 notes, we actually changed the scale with which we played. So scales are just a series of notes with which we play the melody. Everyone knows the major scale. It's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do. Now I'm going to change just one note. Instead of this guy here, I'm going to play this one. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Feels quite different. So I'm going to play the original one, the major scale. Now the new scale by changing just one note. It creates a kind of shimmer, a little tremor of hope, or I think it's going to be different for everyone, but for me that's what it evokes. So I'll play both of them one after the other, and what you can try to do if you want is close your eyes and see how it feels inside your body to hear both scales just with one different note. So let's try. Quite a different effect, isn't it? The first one feels to me very comforting, very reassuring, very familiar. The second one suddenly introduces something more, again, that little shimmer of something. It's hard to put in words, but I hope you can hear the difference, and that's by changing just one note. That new scale, where I change just one note, happens to be called a mode. Modes are just scales to which we gave inexplicably weird Greek names. But really, they're just sequences of notes that we use to play a melody. This mode that we got by changing just one note compared to the major scale is called the Lydian mode. The major scale, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do, is actually a mode as well. It's called the Ionian mode, the mode of onions. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in English. Ionian, I think, something like that. So now we know two modes, and Lydian. So this piece of music is going to use a few different modes. They're actually really useful to spice up the melody a little bit. So let's have a look at a few different modes and see what flavor they bring to the music. We're going to take a little melody and play it in different modes. So with the major scale, now the same one with the Lydian mode, the one we saw earlier where I just changed one note. Very different. Now we're going to try the Aeolian mode. Again, quite a different feel to it. Let's play the major one again, the first one. Now the Aeolian mode, or the minor scale. And that's actually a useful trick in music that I use quite a bit, is take the same melody and then suddenly change the scale or change the mode, and it often creates a very interesting effect. Let's try another mode, this time the Phrygian mode. That's a mode that was used a lot at the beginning of the 20th century, and a lot of French composers liked that mode. Debussy, Fauré, or Erik Satie used that mode quite a bit. I'll play that same melody again with these four modes. Major, conclusion. So you see how with the same pattern but played in different modes or scales, we have a very different result. And we can create very interesting things because the pattern we play is the same, so it feels familiar, but we can change the feel quite drastically. There's one last mode I wanted to talk about because it's used in virtually all Celtic music. It's the mode that gives Celtic music its character, and it's the Dorian mode. Suddenly we're in the midst of a heroic quest with King Arthur and wizards and elves and robots. Maybe no robots. So that was the exciting world of modes. And there are many others. But I hope that gave you an idea of how we can change just one or two notes in a scale and how we can create very different effects, and then we can change from one mode to the other just with the same melody or the same pattern and get something very different, which makes the music more exciting and gives it different flavors. Everyone writes music differently. For me, I don't think too much about music theory when I write music. Usually I just go out for a walk, then lots of ideas come. Then I come back very excited and in retrospect try to figure out what it is that came up. So here, for example, I realized, oh, okay, I used the same notes as for the sequence I had at the beginning. And because of that new harmony, that was played with the Lydian mode. So now we know the beginning and the very end of the piece. And for real, next time we're going to go on the computer and start to put it all together. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please subscribe or like or share this video or go on your rooftop and excitedly scream about it or just click subscribe. And I very much look forward to seeing you for the next episode. In the meantime, take care. See you next time. If you found these musical modes interesting, I've created a short video, a little add-on to this episode, where I share some very easy tips on how to figure out modes. So if you want to use them in your own composition and are interested to learn more, you can check that out. The link will be in the description, or if I figure out how to do it, it will be at the end of this video somewhere here or here.